So we're gonna share you this testimony. In 2000 and about 2018 and 19 thereabout, I was in Italy. I'm still here studying. Unfortunately enough for me, I never had the scholarship, the boss of the studio, like they call it, from the DSU. So I happened to pay for everything and do everything myself. It wasn't really easy, but I would say it's spiritual because with God all things are possible. So at once, one certain, was it? I think it was June, close to my birthday. I was actually running out of funds. I didn't even have money or anything to pay my rent for the next month or my bills. Neither did I even have groceries or whatever to eat in the fridge. But I just had faith and I stayed home. And I was also late on my school tax. And if I don't pay my fees, I can't continue my studies and I have to go back to Nigeria. And I couldn't afford it because I had no money, no support. And I was here alone. Then I didn't speak Italian as much as I did now. And I was at home and I was fasting because most times during my birthday, I like to fast and pray and seek God's presence and ask for whatever. And while I was undergoing the fasting and prayer, so I met a man like 6 months prior. His name was Nicola Guerini, a friend of mine, my roommate. He has a boss called Nicola. So Nicola happened to ask me if I would like to work during the summer. I said, oh yeah, sure, very well, why not? I would like to work. And he said, if you like to work, then all right, I'll call you, I'll give you a job. And me, I was waiting for Nicola, but Nicola never called. And I needed money and I was in a tight corner and I really didn't know how to go about it. And I was really in a place whereby it's about matter of life and death. If I don't get this money, I either go back to my country and forfeit my studies. That was the only way, like just forfeit the studies is the only way. So I was home, I didn't have food, so it's obvious that I wasn't eating. So I was always fasting and praying. So I put myself on a 5 days fasting and prayer and I was like, but wait a minute. This guy called Nicola told me that he was gonna give me a job in summer and this and that and that. So I started praying. I was like, Lord, what's the problem with this man? And I spoke to the Lord in prayers in 5 days. I said, Lord, if this is truly your will, and it is your will for me to meet Nicola. I don't know Nicola, but probably if this is your will, maybe I have a role or Nicola has a role to play in my life, or I have to meet Nicola because I have a role to play in his life. I don't know. Make it possible. But if you know it's not your will and I don't have a role to play in his life or he doesn't have a role to play in my life, then fine, you shouldn't call me and I will know that this is your will and it's fine that I'll keep on waiting on you patiently. And the first day went by, I was fasting, he didn't call. Second day, third day, fourth day. Mind you, for me, if I put my heart to something, I already believed. That was why I started fasting, because I know with God, really everything is possible. Because it's not the first time I had an encounter with God. So I was home on the fourth day. He didn't call. And the last day was on a Friday, because I went on the 5 days. I embarked on the 5 days fasting and prayer. So while I was there on the fifth day, I was in my room. I was reading a book, a spiritual book, tied to I think Dominion Mandate, if I'm not wrong. That's the name of the book, by Reverend Fred Obeto Sazua. I was reading a book tied to Dominion Mandate. So while I was reading, it was 5 o'clock. I still had hope, I was like, he's gonna call me because I'm praying. I already spoke to the Lord and he's gonna call me. So 1 o'clock, he didn't call me. My roommate got up that morning, had his base, left the house, which the man Nicola, I met Nicola through a friend, a roommate. So he still works for Nicola. We live in the same house. And this is summer. Nicola offered me a job that he's going to call me in summer, but he hasn't called yet. So he woke up that morning. He got dressed, bathed, went to work, and came back from work. And I looked at the time like, man, this guy already came for work. Then if this guy already came from work, today is gone already. He already worked, right? And I was home in my room and I sat in my bed and I was reading this book. And at exactly 8 o'clock, I heard a knock on my door. And I opened the door, lo and behold, it was my roommate, and he said, bro, can you get ready as fast as you can in 5 minutes? My boss just called and said he's coming if you'd like to work, that he's coming to pick you right now. And that was how I got a job. That was how I solved all my problems. So if you're going through something right now and you think that there is nothing you can do about it, I want you to know that Jesus can do something about it. Seek the Lord, for he is the way, the truth, and the life. Seek the Lord. Seek the Lord. And seek the Lord. And the Lord will be waiting for you at the door.